keep it a buck. It was never their responsibility to teach us black history. They could have, quite frankly, just not ever taught us black history at all, just taught us their history. It's the same way that I'm going to be teaching any youth that I teach or any of my children white history. For what? You think I'm going to open up a school and I'm going to be in there teaching white history? It was never their responsibility to teach us black history. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to have our own schools to teach us that. We were supposed to have our own elders to teach us that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was never on them. It was never on them. You know? They gave us a month so niggas felt like it was their responsibility. Like, oh, you got a Black History Month. You want to learn all about black history during this month. Ooh, but nah, that was never their responsibility. That was never their role to teach us anything about our history, you know. And I ain't gonna sit here I ain't used to think the same thing. I used to definitely think the same thing. Like, you know, they could teach us more. Especially, I recommend picking up the book by Dick Gregory, and it's called Black Inventions Throughout History, I think. It's another book. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it's also another book that go over black inventions in history. So, for example, like the stoplight, we created that. Hey, cheers. I ain't mistaken, we created that. Peanut butter, we created that. Those is the top that I can think of on my head. A lot of stuff, though, a lot of things, and I don't want to lie, but a lot of things that's common in society today, that's a necessity of society today, we created, you know. But I never learned none of that in school. All that was post-school. Never learned that. So it was never in their it was never in their agenda, for one. And it was never their responsibility to teach us our history. It's our history. That's why in history they teach their history. You know, 80% of the school year you learn about their history. It's their school system. Why would they be teaching us our history? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find a word, but, because I ain't trying to cuss, but it's fucked up that's the way it is, you know, because, I mean, I'm knowing and understanding that teaching our history involves other nations, other people also. Teaching our history involves white people. Teaching our history involves Europeans, you know, not just the ones we around now, but other ones. Teaching our history involves Middle Easterns. Teaching our history involves Africans. So I know not to leave out, you know what I'm saying, people, because, you know, our history as a people comes with us being around a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm understanding that, okay, teaching our history comes with, you know, other people. You know what I'm saying? But teaching our history is literally our responsibility. You know, it was never their responsibility. And while they teach their history and they leave out a lot of people, they leave out a lot of things, they don't talk about a lot of stuff, they don't mention a lot of people or a lot of nations, a lot of racial groups, as they say. They leave a lot of racial groups out, but they intermingle with a whole lot of people, and they just don't teach that in history, you know. But that's them, and that's their history. Our responsibility as our people is to teach our history. You see what I'm saying? It ain't their responsibility. So they taking it out of school. It's our responsibility to build our own museum. If they tear the museum down, so be it. Like, it is what it is. Like, it was never their responsibility to do any of that. It was always our responsibility because it's our people. So I'm saying, we are us. They not us. So I'm saying,